Chris Dale.
Richard James.
What's coming up?
There is a random episode of a random Gerry Anderson series.
Jamie.
Richard, I've got some news for you.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I've got the second part of my interview with Naomi Opalinska.
Wow.
All that on the Gerry Anderson podcast.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
If you've watched or listened to the last 354 editions of the Gerry Anderson Podcast, you're probably wondering where the 355th episode is. It's here.
It has arrived.
This
just
is
for
it.
you.
Joyce.
It's what you've been waiting for all these years. And it only took us 7 years to get here.
So long. So long.
You were in your 30s then, Jamie.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
I was in my 40s.
Let's move on.
Now, Chris, tell everyone
Yes.
at home who may be listening and viewing us with some trepidation.
As well they might, considering
What?
last week.
Yes. What do we have coming up in this week's
We have
episode?
some newsy news.
Yes, which is what?
Well, it's news about
Right.
Anderson things
Yes.
and stuff and events
Yep.
and such like.
Yeah, and...
Well, we have the second half of your interview with...
Oh, Naomi Opalinska will be joining us,
Right.
commercials producer, along with Gerry in the 80s and 90s, to talk about her work and life and times.
That's right.
Yes, she was fascinating last week, talking about how she first met Gerry, but also I know she's still great friends with your mum, which is very sweet. Isn't
They
it?
still meet for coffee.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah. And of course, we'll be having the randomiser a little later on.
The Randomiser, yes, in which we watch a random episode of a random Gerry Anderson series.
Yeah.
Probably a bit more on brand this week than it
Yeah.
was last week,
Let's
but it would be
hope so.
hard to
Oh,
go
yes.
more off brand. And we
Yeah.
have some emails and comments and such from our Podsterons
We
and viewers
do.
and things.
There's
Talking
so
of
much.
which, yeah. Now, about 3 weeks ago now, we had Sarah Cronin here from
Yes.
Talking Pictures
How
TV,
lovely.
and we you interviewed her, Chris.
I did,
and we
yes.
watched an episode of Fireball XL5. John Edgeworth commented on that video. Dear friends, I watch your podcast every time it airs, and I try and support you when I can.
Oh, thank you.
I just bought the Thunderbirds Retro Collections Part 2. You should have a Patreon system to help us support you. And if you do, please let me know about it. I'm a big Captain Scarlet fan, and yes, they are watching me.
Well, the Patreon system is the Gerry Anderson store, isn't it? Where you can make the donation and you get a thing as well.
You're correct.
Very
It's
true.
quite a novel concept.
That's right. I mean, I have to say, everything you buy on the store supports everything you see on the store.
Yes.
And everything you see on the podcast.
It
And everything you see
for our
everywhere.
coffee.
Yeah, that's right. Pays for our coffee. That's right. Exactly. One there from Scofair, I think, for you, Jamie.
Go fair. Working for Talking Pictures must be a great job, surrounded by all that centralised nostalgia.
Oh, that's a nice phrase.
It's good,
Sort
isn't
of like here as well.
Yeah.
I think Talking Pictures is the most unique TV station around.
Yeah.
And Sarah's interview is going to keep me enthralled for months.
Wow.
Well done, Chris.
Yeah, only an hour. That's
Impressive.
It's going to keep you going over the summer. That's good news, isn't it? And well, there for you, Chris.
Okay, this is from Keith Parker, who says, I was 9 when Joe 90 came out, hated it. I don't feel able to go on.
Wow, that's that then.
No, I'll try.
Well done.
Such a letdown.
Oh,
He's correct, though. He's
Such
correct.
a letdown
Yeah.
from Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, Stingray, and Fireball XL5.
Right.
Didn't even show Secret Service in London at the time. I think Secret Service was only on in like 2 or 3 regions.
Yeah.
So most places didn't ever get a transmission. I think some regions are still waiting on it.
yes, yes.
UFO was great, even though in London we saw it about a year after everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, some regions
Interesting, isn't it?
didn't
Yeah.
get certain shows at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the South didn't get the second series of Space 1999 at all.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it? Now, who made those decisions? The channel executives? I
The
guess?
region
The
buyers
regional-
and programmers, I
Yes.
guess. Yeah.
Strange. Yeah. Podsterons, is there a Gerry Anderson series that you can't stand? Is there just one where you go, I just can't?
No, no, I can
We've already
tolerate
had
all of
some
them.
Joe.
I can tolerate all of them, even the little nipper.
Yeah, I mean, we have found there is something to enjoy in all of them if you look
Yes.
hard enough. It's true, isn't it?
Yes.
Even Torch.
Yes.
You even slightly enjoyed Terror
I
Hawks a
did.
few weeks
Yeah,
back.
I did indeed, yeah. But talking of things wherein we can find a bit of enjoyment,
Oh, yes.
let's have some Gerry Anderson news.
The vacuum of enjoyment. It's the Gerry Anderson using his news.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
We've got a line of samoyed dog clothing now in Gerry
Dog
Anderson's
wool.
store. Yes.
Remind me about the dog wool.
Yes,
Oh.
and a delicious range of dog milk cheeses soon to be
Yes.
launched at the... No, not really. Goodness me. Sorry if that made you retch.
Yeah.
No, I come bearing news of Space 1999 and Thunderbirds.
Oh, Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Very lovely emphasis there.
Which would you like first?
Or Space 1999, please. Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Space 1999 was first shown in 1975.
I did know that.
And if you do the maths, that means it's 50 years this year
You're right.
since it was first shown. Which makes this year the start of its 50th,
50th
anniversary year. Do you
Oh.
see?
Yeah, beginning of, yeah.
Anyway, so we are just very gently kicking off our Space 1999 50th anniversary celebrations.
Easing into it.
Yeah.
He's very much easing in with a lovely Space 1999 50th anniversary T-shirt. It's quite a mouthful, that.
Yeah.
And we've done a lovely 50th anniversary logo. In a
Right.
very similar vein to the Stingray 60th anniversary logo.
Okay, yeah.
And you can get it on a T-shirt now.
Does it have an eagle on it?
Yeah, it's got an eagle built into
Brilliant.
the zero of the 50, you see. It's very clever.
Has it now? Do you like
Very
it?
clever. It looks very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just the top ice crystal at the tip
Yeah.
of the iceberg.
Right.
Of all things Space 1999,
Okay.
with much more to follow.
Right.
And if you're watching, Richard James, would you mind briefly demonstrating Thunderbird 2 in flight?
Yes.
This is relating to a tease that I teased a few weeks ago.
You did
isn't
tease
it?
this a few weeks
Yes.
ago. Now, if thank you, if Thunderbird 2 was to perhaps fly over some water
Yes.
and hover over said water and drop its pod on said water, what might emerge from said pod?
Wow.
Might it be Thunderbird 4?
Nice. Look at him. He's learning all the time.
You've just, some vestigial memory, I've just remembered, I used to have a Thunderbird 4 bath soap. I've just remembered that. Isn't that weird?
How lovely.
I'm talking fairly recently, not as a child.
like last
Yeah.
week.
No, I mean, like, within
You've been down to
last
the,
15 years or so.
Yeah.
Been
Strange.
down to the old Museum of Brands. They probably got one in there.
Yeah, they may well do. Well, yes, Thunderbird 4 is the next in our line of Thunderbirds collectibles, and it will be at the same size, not scale, same size.
Oh.
Right. Big old thing there.
Yeah,
Nice.
all right, bit
That's
rude.
nice. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's lovely. So we've had our pre-production samples through. It's lovely. I think it might be one of the largest Thunderbird 4 models that have been around.
because mostly they're sort of scaled to that, or they're proper model kits.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Yeah.
So I'm very excited about it. It looks lovely, beautiful finish on it, and will
Yeah.
be available to pre-order from around Gerry Anderson Day,
which is
which is
approaching
coming
fast.
up. And that's your other bit of news. 14th of April is Gerry Anderson Day. So,
14th of April.
Podsterons, what will you be doing to celebrate?
Oh, wow.
We'd love to know.
Yes. What are we doing to celebrate?
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers,
No.
Chris.
If
but
it's Wednesday, we might be here.
Yes,
That's
it's
true.
possible. But it's what would have been Dad's 96th birthday.
Oh,
Yes, right.
Bonkers, isn't
Gosh.
it?
Yep.
So yes, let us know what you're going to do to celebrate, or what you'd like us to do to celebrate. Podcast at gerryanderson.com.
Can we have cake again?
Oh, a lovely
Hey.
cake. Yeah. Yeah, we should get some more cake.
any
Yeah.
excuse for some cake.
Yeah, yeah.
Cakes and pyrotechnics.
Yeah, great.
Perfect blend.
Nice.
Hungry now. Okay, that's the end of this week's Gerry Anderson news.
News, news.
Right, yeah.
Newsy,
Dun, dun,
Just doing Joe
dun,
90.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's good. Well done, Chris. I like it.
Thank you.
Nice, Chris.
Do you remember? I'm sure it was last week we had Naomi Opalinska around this table. I interviewed her about her time working with
rings
Gerry.
a bell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there was a second part of that interview. If I manage to find it and dig it out, do you want to see it now?
Yeah, go on then.
Here you go then. Naomi Opalinska, thank you so much for coming back and joining us again.
Thank you for having me again.
We would know you in the Gerry Anderson world as a commercials producer, I guess. Was that your role, would you
yeah,
say?
that was.
And how
yes.
would you explain briefly your role as a commercials producer? What does that entail generally?
Well, you can have be a commercials producer on the advertising agency side, or for the production company, which
Right.
is what I did when I worked with Gerry.
Ah, I see.
So I would go out and try and sell his show reel, bring in work.
yeah.
Then I would help Gerry with the quote. We would discuss the creative ideas that he might have, and get in model makers,
Yeah.
puppeteers, or animators, depending on what the script was.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was live action.
Right.
And then we would work right through to doing all the post-production, the editing,
I see.
special effects if they were needed,
Yeah.
and just putting the whole thing together.
And how long might that process take from beginning to end, let's say, for a particular campaign?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, you'd probably get the script in, which would obviously have been worked on for quite a while by the agency.
Yeah.
And it could be sometimes you could be asked to do something in a week, which would be quite extraordinary, but that would probably be live action.
And that's like a complete delivery in a week.
The newspapers, I mean, back in the day when people read a newspaper, they used to do very, very quick turnarounds.
Right.
But then there were other things that could take maybe 4-6 months to do from beginning to end. It could just be like dragged out quite a lot.
Yes.
Lots of conversations about different aspects of the commercial, etc.
Was that sort of frustrating, or was that interesting to be part of that creative process over those many months?
Well, it was interesting because, ideas evolve. It just... The great thing about doing commercials is that they're all different.
Yeah.
So, I've never worked on Gerry's shows, but I can imagine, if you were doing sort of like 10 episodes of a show, you might be a bit bored or fed up at the end of it, or you might not. You might really enjoy it. But with a commercial, it's all short and it's different. Every script, it usually comes from a different advertising agency, maybe a different creative team.
Yeah.
And so that makes it nice because it could be, for example, with the Royal Bank of Scotland, that was stop frame animation. And we did, actually this is quite a funny story because we did a really beautiful animated commercial for Johnson & Johnson, which the same animator, Joan Ashworth, who did the Royal Bank of Scotland.
Ah, yes.
So the script came in and I said to Gerry, we've got this script in from Saatchi's, so it was a really big agency, really big client.
Right.
And it's origami, stop motion birds. Really
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good budget.
Yeah.
So, we're cooking here. So it's like, so what's the product? So Gerry's kind of a little bit bashful and awkward, and it was in the days when sanitary towels weren't particularly that it was kind of a new thing.
Yes.
They just weren't
Certainly
advertised.
weren't talked about.
No, exactly.
Strange, isn't it?
So, like this blush came over Gerry's face, but we soon got over that, and then we were just into what was going on. But
you soon got over that when you saw the checks coming in,
yes,
I guess.
Exactly.
That helped, didn't it?
So, but that was quite funny to have to tell Gerry that was what we were going to do, flying sanitary towels made out of origami.
Brilliant. That was fantastic. And as a producer, does the buck stop with you, really, then? You say you're in charge of the budget and making sure people turn up at the right time. I mean, it sounds like you have a great deal of control over the process.
A lot of things do.
So when things go wrong, that's your problem?
You're very... well, you are really, because you're the main contact between the advertising agency and the production company.
Yeah.
So you're the person that they will come to.
Yeah.
But you're reliant on a lot of people. You've got a big team working for you. So if you've got people that are really dedicated, reliable, really want to do well and are very professional, usually, as long as you've allowed enough time to do things, and you've got you've done your budget okay, so you're not too strapped for cash on it, it's usually okay. But it can be like that. I mean, I'll be like, come on, Gerry, got to wrap up now.
That's right.
We got to finish for the day.
Absolutely.
We can't go over. But
no.
Gerry was great because he was always in charge of his productions as well. He was always very conscious of the money side of things too. So I did hear of people that worked for directors who just got totally carried away with the creative side of everything.
Right.
But Gerry was great on that front.
You mentioned, that one of the joys of working in that area was that you're never quite sure what's going to come next. Various products and various ways of producing those commercials. But the flip side of that is you never know when the next job is going to come, I guess.
Yeah, and there are times where you do sit around.
Yeah.
Fortunately, when we were at Bray, it was... it's just such a beautiful location.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I went from Paddington, like near the station, in my office there, to having a really nice big office, which just overlooked the River Thames. So there was just grass in between me and the River Thames, so it was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, not too shabby either.
Yeah, but so we did. Yeah, we did have a bit of hanging around time. I think that's pretty standard. But you try and fill your time. You know, you build up contacts with people in advertising. You know,
Yeah.
take them out for lunch, get them to meet Gerry,
Yeah.
get them to know each other, so that they, you know, feel they've got a connection and
Yeah.
think, oh yeah, you know, I could write in the next script that Gerry could direct.
And do you remember how Gerry was in terms of, you know, he'd obviously had these great successes in the 60s and 70s, made these huge TV series that, you know, spanned many months and sometimes years.
Yeah.
How was he now in this new format? Did he find that frustrating? Was he, I don't want to use the word bitter, that's too strong, but, you know, was he regretful that things had come to this pass, or was this just another way of making a living?
I think it was another way of making a living. And
Yeah.
Gerry was always so innovative and he was so interested in the latest technology.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think just as I was coming to the end of my time with him, you know, CGI was coming about and he
Yeah.
was absolutely,
Yeah.
you know, absorbed with that.
Yeah.
And so anything that came up, he would really just love all of that stuff. So
Was he particularly hands-on, you know, on the set with the as a director? I guess he was there.
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Very hands-on. And because every shot was, you know, you'd have the creative team there, the people that had actually written the script and other people from the agency, the client would probably be there. So you had to really make sure that you were doing what you said you were going to do.
Yes, that's right.
So there were no surprises.
Yeah.
But we were very lucky. We had great people to
Yeah.
work with, the model makers, and
Yeah.
you know,
Amazing.
and Gerry had his team, and
Yeah.
so it was a little cottage industry, I
Yeah.
think, at the time.
That's great.
So very nice.
We asked you last week for your first Anderson memory. We're going to take a look now at one of your favourite Anderson characters
Oh,
and
yeah.
moments. So let's have a look and see what you chose.
I hope it's pink.
This is Parker calling Feb 1.
A very human hand there, did you notice?
Yes, I loved that bit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Belady?
Parker from Fab 1, loud and clear.
Mr. Grafton is called to see you, Belady.
Very good, Parker. I'm afraid I may be a little late.
Oh, no trouble, I hope, Belady.
Afraid so. I'm being tailed. It may take some time to lose them. Meanwhile, make my excuses to Mr. Grafton.
Yes, Belady. And good luck.
The bad guys. Well, she wasn't wearing pink, unfortunately,
She
in that
wasn't,
scene.
but she was in a pink
She
heart.
was. So
Yeah.
what was it about Lady Penelope and Parker and their relationship that you enjoyed so much?
Well, firstly, I was a real girly girl, so anything pink and, you know, ladylike and fashionable,
Yeah.
and, you know, she kind of just lived in a world that you would, you know, want to be in. She was going skiing and, you know, having dinner parties and that
Yes.
kind of, I'm sure as a child, just kind of
Yeah.
really appealed to me.
Yeah.
And I just find that relationship, because they're just so poles apart, Parker and Lady Penelope.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get anything more different.
That's right.
From different classes
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And they just kind of had that understanding of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, such durable characters. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
everyone would remember those characters today. If you did the
Yeah.
impression, everyone, you know, knows Parker and Penelope.
Yeah,
It's
so,
incredible.
and I remember as a child just loving anything to do with Lady Penelope. I
Yeah.
don't know, I mean, I'm sure everyone must remember, or they think they're still going today, Fab Ice Lollies.
Yes.
And I can remember in the summer coming out of school and my mum taking me so I could go and choose my ice lolly. It was always a Fab.
Always a fab.
F-A-B.
Yeah, the ice cream for girls, I think it was.
I think it was. Well, it definitely was in my case.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So there you were, you know, many years later working for Gerry. Were you conscious of that long lineage behind him and how you had watched this stuff as a kid? Was it satisfying to be, you know, working with him as a business partner and a friend?
Yeah, it was. But I think when you get working with somebody, that kind of goes a little bit.
Yeah.
Before you meet someone,
Yeah.
you have that kind of, you're very much in awe. And I've always been in awe because,
Yeah.
you know, for what he's achieved and
Yeah.
everything is fantastic.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were very much, I used to work with him every day, you know, 5 days a week for 3 years. So you kind of, you kind of move on from that and just focus on what you're working on at the time, really.
That's right, yeah.
And I remember when I first started working with Gerry, I can't remember whether it was when I was at the agency and I came down to the studio, but Jamie was just 20 months.
Sweet.
Little toddler.
Sweet little boy.
Yeah. So that takes you back to how long
Does
ago
a bit.
it was.
Well, he was 40 last week. So.
Yes. and Gerry and Mary are just sort of such lovely people. And I kind of had we live near each other now, and when we moved in the early 2000s to the South Oxfordshire area, they were literally the only people we knew, and they were just so kind and welcoming and helpful of, you know, telling us all about the area and everything. And Gerry was very kind. He used to get sent lots of stuff, say, from the BBC, like lots of DVDs of his shows and then a whole load of other stuff, you know, like Planet Earth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he would bring them round to my kids and they would just like love it, you know.
Yeah, sweet.
They remember that really well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is, yeah, you are in awe of him, I think, because, and he's so kind of, was so quiet. He was, I remember him being quite overwhelmed with, you know, he had this kind of fan club. And
Yes. I think the prevailing sense is that he never really knew or understood what his work meant to so many people.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
I think so.
Yeah.
He just didn't really, you know. I mean, I think he was really happy that people did love his work so much.
Yeah.
I know that meant a lot to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know that because they've been writing in with questions about your time working with Gerry and beyond. So let's delve into the lunchbox. And let's take out all these questions that we have left and see if we can rattle through these. So, Rich Goodborn says, which advert was the most fun to do with Gerry, if you have to pick one?
I think the Hobnobs was a really good fun one.
Yeah?
Because Jan Ravens was a really great actress.
Yes.
Oh, she still is.
Yes.
And she was very professional.
Yeah.
And it just really worked.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny. I think actually the other ones were the Lieutenant for Tennant's Pilsner, which was based on Dick's Banner.
That's right, yes.
And that was a really fun time, actually.
Yeah.
I think we just pretty much laughed the whole time because the creative team that wrote the scripts for that, I worked with at the agency, and then I left to work with Gerry, and then they moved to another agency.
Yeah.
And then they wrote the scripts, and obviously that was particularly targeted for Gerry because of the Dick's Banner.
Absolutely.
Based on
Where
that.
else were they going to go? That's
Exactly.
right, yeah.
And it was just one place.
Yeah.
And that was really nice because they were really like young guys, very funny. We used to always laugh a lot when we were in the agency.
Yeah.
And then they just laughed a lot with Gerry and Mary as well. It was just, I was talking with Mary about it, and we just, and Mark and Martin, who were the creative team on that quite recently, and we just remember that being such a happy, fun time. And
amazing.
Yeah,
Great.
so it was good fun.
Well, I think we can have a look at Lieutenant in action. Let's have a look at this.
Lieutenant's the name. I was between cases, so I stopped off at the Sink Inn. The place was swimming over. Fingers and his knob were at their usual table, hatching something. I asked the barman for a Tennant's Pilsner. The cool taste was music inside me. So I asked for another, and introduced me to his sister, Candy Floss. Funny, I felt kinda hungry. She was suffering from arrested development. With her development, someone ought to be arrested. She told me she had a problem. I had a choice. My Tennant's Pilsner or Candy's case. It was close, but not that close. Tennant's Pilsner. It's good, but not that good.
I can see why you laugh so much.
Yeah, we just had such fun with all those puns.
Now, I have a couple of questions about that. So firstly, was Terry Adlam who...
yes.
He was involved with that
on
commercial?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I thought I detected...
He was very heavily involved in that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And secondly, they're obviously after it then, the agency and the client are obviously trying to connect with a very particular audience there by using that character who was essentially Dick Spanner.
Yeah.
So what were they trying to tap into there? Are you able to kind of sum that up?
Well, at the time, I don't know where we are with alcohol advertising at the moment, but there were lots and lots of strict laws were coming in on how you could advertise alcohol.
Right.
So, I mean, going back a long time before that, you would have women in bikinis and very glamorised, or you know, it's like with people smoking, you know, like you just couldn't do that anymore. So the beer companies and the advertising agencies were always looking for ways that they could kind of brand their product, but without crossing those boundaries. You see, so I think the Dick Spanner, obviously, which was lieutenant in this particular case, worked really well because it gave the brand an identity, so they knew it was like lieutenant, so the tenants is in the name, and so I think that's how it worked at the time.
And there's a kind of anarchic energy to it. It's a bit edgy and you know, fun, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really fun.
Yeah, interesting. Simon Frisbee, hi Naomi, thanks for doing the podcast. How creative can you be when making a commercial? Do you have a free hand, or are you told what the finished product has to be and look like?
Okay, that's a very good question. So you get presented with a script, which you should stick to, but the creative team from the agency will be looking for a lot of input from the director and the production company to add in any ideas they've got, you know, different ways that you could shoot the film, you know, whether it was you know, like close up, or you know, I mean that's just an example, but you know, or just like a different feel to it. So the production company do have a lot of input, but it all does have to be approved by the agency and then the client. They don't have a complete free hand.
Yes, right.
So it's a bit of a joint effort, really.
Yeah. Do you sometimes find yourself going down a bit of a dead end, you know, pursuing one particular idea only for the agency or the client to say, no, that's not for us, think of something else? Yeah, so it is a two-way conversation all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. But of course, it comes to someone like Gerry, you know roughly what they're going to be after.
Yeah.
You know?
And Gerry would do a storyboard, you know, and then the agency would come back and say, yeah, that's really great, we like it, or could we change that bit? You know, that scene there a bit, or what do you think? And we just talk it through, really. So a bit of a teamwork, I think.
Yeah, great. And finally, Jonathan Bell says, what's your favourite kind of cat?
Oh, what's my favourite kind of cat? I actually like just a domestic short-hair cat, you know, just a good old moggy that, you know, ginger tabbies are nice. We've had a lovely tortoise-shell cat, too, but they can be a little bit unpredictable. Maybe call them a naughty tortie. We had a lovely black cat too. Black cats are nice because they're quite overlooked.
Yeah,
you know, they're
I
not
agree.
as photogenic as the other ones.
They are beautiful.
Yeah, but they are beautiful. But I don't really have any particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably the standard moggies are my faves.
Now, you say you worked with Gerry then for what was it, 3 years, I think you said, and then started a family.
Yeah.
So was that really your exit from the business, as it were, or did you carry on to some degree?
It was really. I did move to another production company for a very short time, but I had my first son while I was working with Gerry.
I see.
Was
that an easy time to juggle those?
Well, I suppose, I don't know, looking back on it, I thought I could kind of handle everything, but I could probably realise that actually, you know, doing my job is full-time and looking after a baby's full-time as well. But I do remember we did a commercial for a French agency. So we had the script coming, it was for a furniture polish. and it featured a wooden horse. You know, the kind that an artist would use to draw with
the joints,
and all that kind of thing. And it was polishing one of those, and so we had to go over to Paris, Gerry and I, for to meet the agency to discuss. And I can remember I was probably about 4 weeks off having the baby, and I had to have a special letter from the doctor to say I could fly. And I just wore this massive coat that kind of covered me up and disguised me so that people couldn't see that I was having a baby. But I did work up literally right to the day that I had him.
Yeah, gosh. And then following that, you say you kept in touch with Gerry and Mary throughout the following years. Were you ever tempted to kind of step back into the industry at all? Or once you'd found your sort of the cattery and so on, did you put it all behind you?
Well, I think it just kind of didn't really come up. It wasn't that I thought about. I just knew that I couldn't do the long days that job needed. You know, sometimes with filming, you would start at, you know, you'd leave home at 6:30 in the morning, and my son would be asleep. And then when I got home at 8:30 at night, he'd be asleep as well. Yeah. So it just kind of didn't work. But I did live through all the programmes with my kids, which was also a lovely, you know, second episode going on there.
Oh, yeah,
So that was really nice, because I think it was 92 that they released Thunderbirds again.
Okay.
So my eldest son was very interested in that. And then, of course, that Christmas, you could not get Tracy Island for Love Nor Money. It sold out in like October or something.
Yeah.
And then Anthea Turner did the Blue Peter.
That's it.
How to make your own Tracy Island. Yeah. Which I did.
Oh, well done.
And I, you know, was kind of had to, really, didn't you?
Yes.
And and I just loved it. You know, we were collecting all because then I actually found the instructions online last week. They're still there in the BBC archives.
Brilliant.
So, if anyone's out there, you can still make Tracy Island. It's just we use toilet rolls, but of course you're not allowed to use those now. So I think it was a Pringles packet.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, great.
Tube that you had to use.
Fantastic.
You had to collect all that stuff. Dairy tops for the swimming pool was great. I loved making that. You know, because I loved that on the titles.
Yes.
Of, you know, how the Thunderbird it opens up.
Yeah.
You know, that I loved.
Yeah, that's right.
Because somehow, even though it was all puppets and it was models, it kind of seemed real as a child.
That's what we hear all the time from our guests. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just like, oh my God, how do they do that?
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
So when I created my own little, you know, Dairy lid, and had to paint it blue, and then you had, I think they call it a paper fastener. It was like a little brass thing that came apart at the bottom.
Oh, yes,
and then you put that in, and then you swiveled it round, and then your Thunderbird one came out the toilet roll, you see.
Very good.
There you go.
Very inventive.
Yeah.
Naomi, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real insight, shining a light on a part of Gerry's career that is not brushed over by any means, but you know, isn't as well looked at as the high-profile series. So you've really opened the door a little bit to shine a light on it, for which we thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's been lovely to have the chance to chat about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Naomi for joining us for the last couple of weeks.
Thanks, Naomi, and for doing all that lovely research and sharing all your memories with us.
Yes,
lovely.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always great to hear from, well, perhaps it's fair to say, a lesser-known name and face from Gerry's career.
And there's a lot of things there that people would recognise without immediately thinking, oh, Gerry was involved with that.
Exactly
So
right.
it's nice to hear those stories.
Great. Yes, we'll have another interviewee next week.
Another?
I think I know who it might be, but I won't say just yet. Oh, but we do have someone coming from Scale Electric. Simon Owen, brand manager from Scale Electric, will be joining us.
Because Scale Electric are currently working on
the SPV and
patrol car,
Great.
car, whatever people want to call it.
Right.
Yes, there was a nice prototype photo that they shared the other day.
Oh, well, I'll see if Simon can bring something along to show us.
We get
be
an
nice.
electric track round the table.
That would be amazing.
Race it around you while you're having a chat.
Brilliant, yeah. All these are very good ideas that probably won't happen.
Alas.
Yeah. In the meantime, let's talk about things that probably will happen.
Yes,
I think we'll probably hear the Voice of the Podsterons about now.
This is the Voice of the Podsterons.
Hi, YouTubesterons.
Hello.
This is from the Steve.
It has to be.
With 3 E's.
Yes.
Ross, Jamie, Chris, Richard, Virgil,
Yeah.
Lauren, insert
Yeah.
name here, delete as applicable.
Okay.
Seeing Jamie deliver the news from his car has got me thinking.
Oh, really?
Dangerous. Have you considered doing a podcast from your respective cars?
No.
All bundled into one. You could choose a different car park every week. Also, why was Jamie doing the news from the Moxie car park? Seriously though, thank you for your hard work. From the Steve with 3 E's.
Were you in the Moxie
Steve.
car park?
No, I was
thought
at the Membry Services westbound. Just in case you wanted to know.
Great.
Well, I don't have a car, so I'll have to come in with one of you if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, no, that's not me. That's Geraint Williams.
Geraint.
Yes. Geraint says, thank you for the excellent interview with Christian Anholt recently. That was a
while ago.
particular pleasure of mine, I have to say. In the Q&A later, there were questions about the Space 1999 novelisations, so can I ask some geeky questions?
Try.
First, how about a crowdfunder to reprint them all, along with the volumes 7 to 10 and Earthfall, but include Earthbound this time? Talking of, are volumes 7 to 10 classed as being included in Series 1 or between Series 1 and 2? That's if they are at all. Finally, is the sequence of adaptations/stories in books, i.e. 1 through 6, possibly the definitive running order to watch the first season of Space 1999 episodes? To close, I'm sure I managed to get and read volumes 4 and 5 from W.H. Smith in Colwyn Bay before I had even seen the series. Thanks, from Geraint Williams. Did you understand any of that?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Over to you then, Chris, for those answers.
Well, I don't know about reprints. I suspect that's a...
We've touched on that a lot previously. Yeah.
We're currently not touching that again.
Yeah.
So, yes, volumes 1 to 6 in the UK were episode novelisations, similar to the Doctor Who Target novelisations, and they were in roughly sort of production order, so yeah, that's as good an order to enjoy them in as there is. And books 7 to 10 were original novels. I believe number 10 wasn't published in the UK and is a US exclusive. As for where they are in the series continuity, I mean, the fact that they've got Victor Bergman, Paul Morrow, Carno in them, they're year 1, as close as you can get.
Yeah.
So a bridge, if you want them to be a bridge between year 1 and year 2, or just part of the series, if not. I mean, some of them, I haven't read them for a long time, but I know there was more than one that I gave up on because it wasn't quite. It was heavy going.
Right.
But we're talking about 15, maybe 20 years ago now.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
I'd like to know from Geraint and from anyone else. He says his first experience of the series was reading the books before he saw it on TV.
That's
strange,
how I was
isn't it?
actually. I had some of the later volumes. I found a whole set at the boot fair or something. I'd started watching the series. It was only about halfway through at that point, and I was reading later episodes.
Yes,
and it was interesting when the BBC actually got to those episodes. There's some fairly major differences in the novels compared to the screen. Interesting.
Yeah, Geraint, I'd love to know what were your impressions when you finally saw it. Then did it exceed or not live up to your expectations?
For some people with Doctor Who and the Target books, they say the Targets are the definitive version, and the TV doesn't quite measure up.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a final one here from Nathan Simpson. Nathan says, "Dear Gerry Anderson podcast,
That's all of us.
Yeah.
recently I watched the Stingray episode A Christmas to Remember on Talking Pictures TV. And when I got to the ice skating sequence, my mind immediately thought of syncing up the footage with the song Once Upon a Winter Time from the 1948 Disney film Melody Time."
Okay. Right.
I'm not familiar with either of those elements.
Yeah.
When I rewatched it on ITVX later the same day, March the 1st, 2025, which was my birthday, I loaded up the short just before the segment of the episode started, and it's safe to say the footage matches up well with the song.
Nice.
Maybe the Podsterons at home should try it too.
Okay.
So if any of you are watching or listening, get Stingray episode 12, A Christmas to Remember, loaded up on ITVX or Talking Pictures TV Encore or DVD or Blu-ray. Then load up Melody Time on Disney Plus and skip to about 9 minutes in, just as the ice skating sequence of Once Upon a Winter Time starts, and pause it ready for the right moment. It's just a funny coincidence that my brain came up with. Feel free to try it on the show too, if you like.
Yeah.
I suspect Disney will pull us.
Disney may have something to say about that for us.
We could try it, but we could never show it.
But do try it at home, Podsterons, and let us know what you think of Nathan's genius idea.
Yeah, so interesting.
So Melody Time was post-war, similar to Fantasia. It was like several little shorts connected together.
Right.
Quite good. I do have a fab fact about that.
Go on.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That ice skating sequence in Stingray.
Yes.
Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, the music in it, lovely Barry Gray, twinkly, wintry theme, that was not composed for Stingray. That is a rare example of Barry Gray scoring an Anderson show with music that he composed for something else.
Naughty.
A year or two earlier, I believe, he'd done something called, I want to say, Magic Music Shop or Merry Music Shop, something like that. It was a series of little 10 to 15-minute shorts, and this one had a wintry theme. The music was written for a song about a robin who visits a poorly little boy. And I guess Barry just thought, I've got this music, it's a bit wintry.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered to do anything today.
Fair enough.
Why not reuse it?
Yeah.
And it's quite memorable. It's more associated with that now than anything else. So
yeah,
there you
that's
go.
right.
That was
That's a
this
fab
week's
fact.
Fab fact.
I like
Thank
it.
you, Chris. Well done.
Very good. Podsterons, have you ever watched an episode of a Gerry Anderson series but timed it to coincide with a soundtrack of a song from something else?
Yes. Have you watched Time to
done
Kill from Space Precinct and played the Benny Hill theme during the
yeah.
cyborg
Now,
murder sequence?
There's a YouTube video
Yes,
just waiting
that's an
down.
Easter egg on the Blu-ray. No one's found it yet.
Yeah. No, but if you have any better suggestions than that, then
Yes.
please do let us know.
Yeah, let us know. podcast@gerryanderson.com. Plus, any other thoughts, comments, or reviews. I have to say, we do get lots of emails. We try and read them all out. Some that I don't read at the time, I try and carry over to the next month. Sorry if I've skipped over one or two, but we just don't have enough time, really, do we?
Yeah, it's like the whole thing of, is there any news on the Stingray Technical Operations Manual?
Right.
There's just no time to answer.
Don't
There's no time to answer
move
things
on
at
to the
all.
next
No
thing.
time
Keep
at all.
moving.
In fact, we've got to move on because earlier, Naomi Opalinska was here. Just before she left, I grabbed her and said, oh, before you go, would you please press the big red button on the randomiser so we can watch a random episode from a random Gerry Anderson series? She did. Shall we see what she picked?
Please.
Yes.
So it's randomiser time again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Thanks, Naomi. All right, past all the black and white stuff already.
Straight into
That's
colour,
good.
and all stopped. Stingray.
That's a nice
That's
thing.
it.
I'm happy with that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice palate cleanser after Pete Collins.
Oh, it
and
really
his,
is.
His
Yes.
madness.
It'll be more exciting.
Definitely, yes.
Could you tell us everything you know about Stingray in about 3 seconds?
I wrote this Stingray book.
Right.
Of course he says that.
Specs on.
Specs on.
Stand by for action.
Yes, sir. So, Chris,
Yes.
that explosion with the what looks like blood coming up from it, that's when does that appear? When does that start
That's
appearing in the run?
From episode 27 onwards. It's odd because it looks more red on the Blu-rays than it did on the DVDs. On DVDs it looked quite brown and muddy as you'd expect it to be. I'm not quite sure why it looks so off-colour when
Yes.
everything else in the intro looks very on-colour.
Yes,
But,
strange, isn't it?
the fact that we have Stingray in HD at all when it looked like for a long time it wasn't going to happen
Yes.
kind of offsets any
Yeah.
glitches in the
That's great.
restoration.
And a lovely,
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
I couldn't talk about that, sorry. A lovely legacy for Network and Tim Meadows.
Yes.
Sadly, neither no longer with
You
us.
could also just imply that that is the blood of the many enemies that Troy Tempest has blown up over
Quite
the
right
years.
too.
I like that take, yeah.
Yeah. They deserved it.
He's always blowing stuff up.
Stingray! Stingray! I mean,
Right.
yeah.
We can
As-
just stop it there.
As with all the
We
themes.
could.
Yeah.
Marks out of 5?
Straight in the mood. Oh. Aquanaut of the Year.
God, he's so heroic.
We're going to start with some end music.
Yeah.
Film gave you some idea of the excitement created earlier today.
When Troy Tempest stood on the spot and saluted.
Troy Tempest, Aquanaut.
How strange to have the insert in black and white
Yes.
and
And
a
I
show
think-
that you were making in colour.
I think
Yes.
that's an old XL5 puppet as well.
Party that must have been.
So, it's the morning after in Marineville.
I could tell something's gone on the night before.
Yes.
Yeah, oh dear.
Oh.
Subtle clues.
Yeah.
What a mess everywhere.
I like it though. I like that you can have that slightly more adult element without actually showing them
Yeah.
doing what they've obviously done.
Yeah, right.
And why did he pin that banner up in his own bedroom? That's weird. Oh.
I'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
It's no way to communicate urgency, is it? I wonder what those keys are actually to.
Yes, I wonder.
Yes.
The way that sign's hanging off the end there is sort of giving the impression that maybe someone was swinging on it.
Yes.
With phones.
There
Got a
was
bit
a lot
messy,
of
didn't it?
swinging last night, yes.
Sleep.
Oh!
Oh.
Is he going to see it? Oh, yes.
Be sure you're up early. Surprise, surprise. Atlanta.
Right.
Oh, no.
Do I have to say it again? Just coffee.
So everyone has got thoroughly sloshed. No one wants to do anything this week.
Father, the TV company made a special point of getting me to make sure we were all up early.
Well, what are they going to do?
I don't know. Maybe they want to talk about making a documentary on Marineville or something.
Yeah. Switch on the TV anyway. Let's see the news.
Of course, if underwater creatures had invaded, launched a massive attack like 3 hours earlier, everyone's there with sore heads. No, we can't. We can't.
Yeah.
Too much.
Who can that be? Sure hope it's Atlanta. I could do with some help. And maybe she'll tell me why I had to get up in the middle of the night. Surprise, surprise.
Who's he talking to?
It's 7 o'clock.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
Captain Troy Tempest of the World Aquanaut Security Patrol, this is your life. The program has been one of the most carefully guarded secrets of all time.
Second only to the plan for the Normandy invasion.
If we can come in,
Wait, so this is going out live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
It's kind of difficult. There was a party and... Boy, what a mess.
So that's what they're up to. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Troy on television.
Well, it may be wonderful to you, but I don't think Troy's enjoying it one bit.
Oh, no. The place is in such a mess. I'd better get over there.
I wonder what's
gonna
happening
be
on
on
screen at the
television.
moment.
we are now going to show to you, the
got some
viewers, some of the daring exploits of Captain Troy Tempest that led to Troy being selected Aquanaut of the Year. Perhaps one of his most startling adventures began when he was investigating a report that missiles that were being...
Are we ready for a clip show?
I see.
Yeah, afraid
I
so.
see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But as framing devices go,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It could lead us to the base of the volcano.
We watched this relatively recently, didn't we? This episode. No?
I have a feeling I've watched all 3 of the episodes that are on here by myself.
Oh. Maybe I've
I
imagined it
think
then.
we've done this one. Could be wrong. We've done a lot. I mean, I go back through the list and think, oh, it'd be nice to watch that on the randomizer, and then I check and we have done it or I've done it, and I
That's
don't
right.
remember doing it.
Yes. Well, we could just start again then, Chris.
Yeah, why not? So this is Emergency Marineville.
Yeah, you see, that's completely broken my suspension of disbelief.
Or you were prepared to keep going with the whole everyone's hungover and
Yeah.
we're putting on a TV show thing, yeah.
But now that the hoverbikes, it's like, no.
Oh, good hypnotic music.
Oh, God, we're not going to get, like, an adventure within an adventure within an adventure, are we? A flashback from the This Is Your Life set to this adventure, and a flashback within that adventure.
Oh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? It would be very meta.
With us.
All you need to know is that we are going to destroy Marineville, and you are going to help us.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, we did watch this.
But you will, Tempest.
I'm sure.
I don't think we have, no.
Well, I've watched it for
Podsterons,
my
if you
own
know
pleasure.
what we've been watching, we don't know what's going on. This was also on the reunion party. It was used as a flashback on that as well.
Listen, Tempest. I want to know.
Maybe you were watching Talking Pictures.
It's possible. Yeah, I've just got a strange recollection of seeing this recently.
I like with that shot of Marina coming round. They've obviously realised quite late that there's no room to get the puppet's knees round, so they've cut a little door just for her knees to go through. Is it just to the right there?
Great.
No deal, fella. It's 3 lives against thousands.
Very well. Chidara, the voltage.
The voltage.
Voltage. It's a voltage. Oh, poor Marina.
They're not really going to... Are they?
Fry her brain? Well, it's one way to get them to cooperate.
She'll never talk.
No. It's one thing you can rely on.
Oh, dear.
She's very stoic, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
800 watts.
Marine watts.
Very well. Full power.
Oh, no.
Little dose.
Oh, it's really uncomfortable.
Oh, she's not dead.
And they can't be any more than 1,000 of whatever there are.
Kilo thing.
Yeah.
Okay, shut it off. I'll talk.
Oh, well, she seemed all right, didn't she?
Yeah.
Life. But now, somehow, he had to save Marineville.
All in a day's work for our hero.
That night, he broke out of jail and started to disarm the next rocket that was due to be fired the following morning.
This is, I think, the first clip show we've done on with the three of us.
Yes.
I think I've done all the others by myself,
Right.
except for the Terrorhawks one.
There's a Terrorhawks clip
There's
show.
a Terrorhawks clip show which ends with a cliffhanger revelation.
Right.
Yes, we'll get to that.
The Marineville defenses were now powerless to stop it.
Oh no.
Whoopsie.
But Troy's work prevented the rocket doing any serious damage. A note, concealed in the nose cone, was delivered to command ashore, giving...
So how do we feel about clip shows in general with the Anderson stuff? Because a lot of the shows ended with an episode like this.
Yeah.
It's an episode wasted, really, isn't it? You might as well
It
not
is looking
do...
back at it now, but at the time it would have been...
Yeah.
You know, this was shown as episode 2. This is episode 39, so this
Yes.
is going back
Yeah.
best part of a year.
Yes, true.
People wouldn't have seen this stuff.
No.
So,
Maybe in a non-home entertainment world it was
Yeah.
more exciting, but as home entertainment it does feel lazy.
Yeah. I would much rather watch them clearing up the party mess.
Yeah, yes.
Or,
But I suppose
Yeah.
it's sort of a kind of greatest hits, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Things you might remember or things you might have missed.
Yeah. Nice to watch some explosions anyway.
oh,
Yeah, so
it's
bad.
a wonderful explosion.
Well, that sure was a great adventure, Troy. Now tell us,
I'm surprised they didn't try Eamon Andrews' voice. He was the original host, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Question appearing on this program.
I mean, they could have got him in,
Yes.
possibly, to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it even more difficult. Because I'm going to ask you to tell the viewers in your own words about your most unusual experience.
Ooh.
Most unusual.
Well, that would be episode 12,
Yes,
where I...
indeed.
Happened to us and the Wasps are unusual. But I remember one particular experience that was strange. Strange because it didn't really happen.
Oh.
Right.
Yes. So now Troy is telling people about his dreams, which is always interesting to hear people talk about their dreams.
Yes.
Yes.
Ocean, near to the Petroma Trench. While I was searching, the seabed collapsed, and I fell into a deep underwater cavern.
It certainly did.
I was hurt and could hardly move, and I could feel myself passing out. I guess my airline was fractured. I thought I was dying.
Phones, I'm suffocating. Can't breathe.
Yeah, that is the meaning of suffocating.
Yes.
My head, it aches.
What's great is we don't know that he's going to live to recount this
tell
story
the
later
tale.
on. Yeah,
That's
we
right.
don't know if
So
he's
the-
going to escape
the
from this.
stakes are really high, aren't
Yeah.
they? The jeopardy. Oh.
Here.
Well,
Then I had a dream.
I dreamt that I was me.
In exactly the same scenario that I was actually in.
I was able to breathe again, even without my mask. I felt just great.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Gee, I've never seen plants like this.
I like this music as well. And this is music that was used in shows right up to Space 1999.
Ah.
Yeah.
Forest of gems.
Yeah.
I don't think the visuals quite match the
aspiration.
Descriptions, yeah.
Forest of gems.
Yeah, some beads.
It looks like a department store Christmas display.
Yes.
Emeralds! Yippee! I must be the richest man in the world!
Yippee.
Richest man in the whole wide world!
Yeah.
Well, off to commercials.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
It's quite slow.
slow. That's quite an impressive feat considering that you're watching a condensed version of the original episode. Yes.
Yeah.
This is Raptures of the Deep is the episode.
Uh-huh.
One of 3 Dream episodes that they did.
Right.
Yeah,
How
Stingray had a
bizarre.
lot of Dream episodes.
It's a very small harp.
And also you have to remember that Troy is recounting this story to the TV viewers. So then I dreamt that I became this... Well, I dreamt I was lounging around eating grapes.
Yeah.
But in a situation like this, I didn't really care.
When all my female friends were waiting on me like slaves.
Yeah.
I will say this one, the design of this set is lovely and the costumes and such. But much like with the clip show episodes, you said it's a waste of an episode. I kind of feel like that with the dreams.
Yes,
sometimes.
that's right.
Unless they do something dramatic. Like this is a bit dramatic. But...
What's that?
It's nice that they're surrounded on all sides by aquamphibians, but
there's no sense of threat because we know it's a dream.
we know it's a dream.
Yeah.
We know he gets out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd imagine that This Is Your Life viewers have changed the channel by this point.
Yeah.
Maybe you've never seen This Is on the other side.
Yes. Dog wool.
Yes. Oh, I'm in for the evening. Yes.
My palace! All my riches!
Oh. Suddenly got a very messy face
Yes.
there. Uh-oh.
He's going to get wet.
It's not looking good for Troy Tempest.
Well, no. Of course, we've previously established now that he can breathe underwater, so...
So, what's his problem?
He's not really in much danger, no. Yeah. I also like to think that it was Troy's recounting his dream there, that there's a psychiatrist in the audience going, right, now this is symbolic of such and such, your obsession with Greek towers and costumes and such.
And water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's about this time that This Is Your Life crew are like, oh, God, do we really need to make a program about this person? He's not that interesting.
Phones? Where am I? The palace, it's crashing down! But this is Stingray. How did I get here? What happened?
You had a touch of Raptures of the Deep, Troy.
Ah.
What?
A touch is more than enough.
Yes.
Troy, I guess that fall into the crevasse, and then your air tank giving out sent you into a kind of drunkenness.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I've heard of drunkenness. I'm going to try it myself sometime.
Hardly believe it.
Thanks, Troy. That was just great.
I'm saying that through gritted teeth.
While Troy was telling that story, Phones, his hydrophone operator, and Marina, the beautiful girl from under the sea, have arrived. So now we have the entire...
She's a great interviewee for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Of course, we mustn't forget the man who runs the whole show, Commander Shore.
No.
And of course, his lovely daughter, Atlanta.
And we will forget Lieutenant Fisher.
Is it true that there's a Romance between you and Troy?
Well, of course we have a lot of fun together, but I don't think Troy's the marrying type. And anyway, the call of duty usually interrupts any romantic.
Oh, yeah, I've said that myself. Very weak bladder.
We're getting ready for a holiday together.
Oh, not another.
Well, it's a clip show episode.
How
Unfortunately,
long
it's this is the last one.
Marina, but Troy did say we were.
Let's get some feminine stereotypes in there, though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, phones, let's collect the girls and be on our way.
Sure thing, Troy.
We don't have any packing because we're men.
Will you come up to the control tower right away? It's pretty important.
Okay, Commander.
But a few words from Father wrecked the whole plan.
You can say that again. Within the hour, we were approaching an undersea drilling base. The scientists there had found a new ocean, right below the existing ocean. And, of course,
Subterranean sea.
Subterranean sea, yes, indeed.
We had no idea what we were going to find or what trouble we might run into.
Oh, I hope there are prehistoric monsters down there.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nessie, maybe?
Oh, well, no, that's a different episode.
Oh,
Nessie. Yeah.
Exciting.
Is it?
I'm trying to convince myself.
Main ballast 1,000.
I was actually surprised when I reviewed this episode originally on the Randomiser. I wasn't very on board with it. I'm surprised to find a lot of people really like this episode.
Okay.
I have yet to fathom why.
Yeah.
Look out for those rocks!
But you're the pilot. Oh.
Yeah. It's a keeping up appearances moment there. Mind the cyclist, Richard.
Well, it could have gone better.
We were all knocked unconscious in the crash. And to this day, I don't know how long it was before we came round.
Oh, wow.
But it couldn't have been that long.
Yeah.
I don't know why I mentioned it.
Yeah, that's right.
For a tidal wave. Stingray seems to be okay, though.
Let's try the motors.
The water's gone. We're beached on the ocean bed.
But how, Troy? There were thousands of feet of water above us.
Not now, so let's get out and take a look.
Sorry, what? I see.
The water drained from the subterranean sea, so it's just a subterranean cave.
Desert. Cave. Yeah.
Why are they wearing them?
Just in case.
Yeah.
Sure.
Probably not much air down there.
Right.
Look at those rocks. They're red hot.
Yeah, my feet are sizzling.
Say, we must be close to the center of the earth.
Ah.
What's wrong, Marina?
Have you heard something interesting? Oh, not this week.
I hear it now. That roaring sound again. Bones, the water's coming back. Come on,
dear.
back to Stingray and fast.
Where did the water go?
It drained away.
It just had to pop out for a minute.
Nice
I
running.
like that. Oh, yeah.
And it would be quite ambitious to do these shots in the studio.
Yeah.
Yep. It's great music as well.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, you were saying, oh, maybe dinosaurs or monsters or something.
Yeah.
No,
No.
nothing. I heard, I think, former podcast guest David K. Barnes described this episode as the Stingray crew go exploring, get their feet wet, and go home.
Right.
And that's kind of why I can't. It's
Yeah.
never been a favourite of mine because not much happens.
But they chose it for a clip show.
They chose it for a clip show. Someone somewhere must have been proud of it
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
When there are so many other much better episodes. I would say, aside from the first episode, the other two are really poor choices for clip show material. Good music, though.
Yeah. Makes it exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah. Something has to.
Hold her steady, Bones. We've got to keep her on an even keel.
Yeah, it's something I'm glad isn't so much a thing anymore with modern TV as clip show. episodes. They think they served their purpose maybe back in the day. But
We had lost our position.
it is always quite disappointing when you're rewatching the show on Blu-ray and you get to the end and instead of a rousing finale, it's just a sort of damp squib.
Yeah. But we might find the shaft.
Troy, we're there. It's an opening.
It was an opening, all right. Right in the center of a beautiful blue lagoon. It looked as if we were going to have our holiday after all.
And who do they find on the island?
Of course.
A random lady.
Yeah.
Gay.
I love the idea that this is some kind of shipwrecked castaway or something. And Troy is like, yeah, we'll save you, but dance for me, woman, before I save you. Because she can only have been there on her own.
I just don't believe it.
But they have their own postal system, so...
Yes.
Wish you were here. All my love, Troy. Isn't that just my luck? You see what I mean?
Yes, Atlanta.
He's carrying on with other women.
I guess that Troy really belongs to us all.
Oh,
really?
All right.
Him for allowing us to share.
You mean there's a queue?
Well, he's in it.
Troy Tempest, Aquanaut of the Year, this is your life.
And it was really quite dull.
It was indeed, yes.
Wow.
We hope the rest of it will be more interesting.
It will always be a great moment. Just one thing I'd like to say. You asked Atlanta if there was a romance between us. Well, I think the moment is right for me to say that there... Say! Hey, there...
Oh.
Wouldn't you know it?
Unidentified craft in Marineville approach. Captain Troy Tempest to report the tower immediately.
Now, just to the right of frame, you can see a puppet on the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be Commander Zero from Fireball XL5.
Bones, Mariners, stand by with Troy to launch Stingray. Thanks for a great show, but I'm afraid whether you like it or not, this has got to be the end.
That is a fairly odd line to end the entire series on.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so they picked 3 examples of the series to show. One of them was a dream.
Yes.
And one of them wasn't really an adventure at all.
No.
No.
And one of them was really good, so we'll keep that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very disappointing.
Yeah.
I wonder what the thinking was behind it. Obviously, to save money, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Although I think this is the first clip show of any Anderson series.
Yeah.
I like the framing device as an idea.
Yeah.
I like that everyone sort of got blitzed out of their skulls the previous night, but I would kind of prefer to watch
that's what
that.
I want to see.
Yeah. The debauchery and, Gerry and Sylvia.
Well,
okay.
We know who to blame now.
Yeah, hate to say it.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It was flaccid at best, I would say.
So is this the very final episode of Stingray?
That's the final episode of Stingray, yeah.
That's what we're left with.
In production and broadcast order, that is the end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hence Commander Shaw's line at the end. This has got to be the end, whether you like it or
That is
not.
disappointing, isn't it? It's almost like they're a little bit disappointed that it's coming to an end and they're going to work out their angst via the show.
But they also... I mean, I guess by this point they would have known there wouldn't have been any more, but there was always the chance that public demand might have called for a second series, but yeah.
But it didn't.
It's tricky.
Right.
Oosh.
Well, it's about that time where we ask for our marks out of 5. I know I'm going quite low on this one.
I'm going quite low.
Didn't bring much to the party, did it?
I hate to go quite low because it's Stingray, and obviously Stingray is great,
Yeah.
but relative to other episodes, that is at the bottom of the pack kind of by default, unfortunately. So I'm going to give that a 1.5.
Oh,
that is harsh.
I know. Again, that's purely relative to other episodes of Stingray, like that the first one they used for clips.
Yeah.
That is a 4.5 to a 5.
Yes. Yes.
But
I'm going to go 2.
I'm also number 2.
Yeah, I thought the framing device was, that's good enough.
Yeah. They threw some money, I guess, to get the This Is Your Life.
Yes.
Well, by
but
kind permission, it might have been a freebie.
Right. I was going to say, if they'd had that money to get that format, then why didn't they spend it on making an episode? I mean, I know it's all relative, isn't it? 2 from me, 2 from you, Jamie.
Yeah.
So that's our lowest scoring. That's 5.5 out of 15.
Yeah. Sorry.
for Stingray.
Sorry,
yeah.
Stingray. Sorry,
But
Podsterons.
maybe there are clip show fans out there.
Yeah.
Who,
Yes, maybe that is
yes.
you.
Yeah, let us
We'll
know.
have to do our own clip show one day.
I'm pretty sure we've done that, actually. A few Christmas episodes, I think.
It does feel like we have.
Podsterons, let us know what you think of that particular episode of Stingray. Were you as nonplussed as we were? Or were you bamboozled by its ingenuity?
Or do you love it to bits?
Yes.
And Ross, what do you think of it?
I really like the framing device.
Yeah, there you go. Let us know. Comment beneath this video. Email us, by the way, at podcast@gerryanderson.com and let us know your thoughts about all things Gerry Anderson, and we can read out your emails next time. See you next week for another guest, another episode of the Randomiser, more news, and more emails.
Yes.
And more of us.
Hooray!
Whether you like it or not.
Bye.
This has got to be the end.
1. Let's get started.
Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
Well, which of us is most likely to be a candidate for This Is Your Life?
Hello.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Doesn't it? I mean, you'd get Simone Bendix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd get
Edgar Wright.
Or not, as the case may be.
Yeah, it's
Edgar
true.
Wright you'd get.
Edgar Wright, Lou Hirsch.
Yeah, that's right.
David Williams.
Ken Loach you'd get.
The cast of Sir Gadabout.
They'd all be there.
Nigel Planer might be persuaded to pop
that's
back.
quite a list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who would you get?
Oh, I don't know. My local vet, probably.
Yeah, a sheep.
Yeah, some sheep.
Some sheep.
For some use.
Yeah. Great. Chris, who would be your dream guests on your own? This Is Your Life.
I'd probably only be able to raise you two. I suspect that might be as
Only?
far as it goes.
Gosh.
I mean, I'm not going.
No, I'm washing my hair that week, I think. So.
I'll do it myself then.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.